We have updates! Welcome to part 2 of my Speed Puzzle World Series coverage. As more information about this event is shared, I will continue to put out some update videos sharing the new information as well as my own speculations about what is still yet to be released. Make sure to check out part 1 of this series, the description is in the link below, where I made my predictions on very little information that we knew at the time about what I thought we may see at the World Series. And yeah, I was wrong about a lot. So what was in the most recent update, and what does this mean for potential participants? And does it change anyone's perceptions on this new event, this new global competition? As a reminder, the main organizer of this inaugural event is Australian speed puzzler Melissa Townsend, and so far it seems to be organized pretty well. The first biggest update I think everyone was really waiting for is now that we have official dates for the competition, and it will take place on May 1st and May 2nd of 2026. At this point in time, it seems like a perfect choice. It doesn't appear to overlap with any of the national competitions, at least that I could find. It worked out really well for the Canadians, as usually the first weekend in May is our national competition, but it was pushed back to the end of May next year, so that could not have worked out better. It's also a nice time of year. Germany in May should be fine. There may be some warm days, but we know it could be worse. So again, a good time of year, happy about that. We already knew that it was going to be in Munich, Germany, but we now have a specific location within the city, so that's going to help with booking hotels, things like that. And it will be held at, I'm going to get this wrong, Tonhall München. It's spelled on the screen. There's also websites that you can go to look at to see what the venue design is, and it looks really good, and we'll get into this a little bit more in a second. I just want to add that it is really important that the specific location within the city was released. It makes things so much easier in the planning phases. I know there are some speed puzzlers that are considering attending, and they like to have their details and information in advance, and this really, really helps. So well done for releasing the location so early. As for the location, what I like most about it is that there is a designated spectator zone, and it's above the speed puzzlers. It will be above the speed puzzlers, so you're looking down on the tables, which is perfect for a speed puzzling competition to actually see what's going on the tables and not relying as much on the camera people, if there will be any. It won't bother the competitors either. One of the issues in some competitions, and not just the World Championships, in national competitions as well, the spectators can be very close to the puzzlers, especially around the edge. In this case, except for those who are not able to access the second floor of the venue, it's going to be perfect. You can look down and love it. No notes. Great. We also know the maximum number of competitors that can take part, and that will be 340. Now, in terms of the World Championships that take place in Spain each year, this is a much lower number, but it is important to remember that all 340 participants, or however many there are, will compete in all six rounds. So that's still over 2,000 puzzles that need to be provided to the event, and you really can't have many more than that. The venue has only a limited amount of space. You need to be comfortable in the speed puzzling world as well. You just can't cram as many people into one little location as possible. So 340 probably seems like it's going to work. They may have gone under the number a little bit to see what the interest will be. There's a lot of unknowns. So I think 340, based on capacity, based on the location within Europe, I think this will be fine. So as I mentioned, all competitors will compete in 6 individual rounds. There's no elimination in this competition. Now, they're not rounds, they're challenges, so I'll try to keep that phrasing correct as we go through. So there will be 6 challenges that all 340 participants will take part in over the course of 2 days. It is a lot of puzzling in a short period of time, hence the name of this video. Now, in part 1 of this series, I did make my predictions, or not even predictions, just hopeful guesses at what the rounds may look like. I didn't expect most of them to come to fruition, mainly because of how kind of out of the box some of the guesses were. And let's go into what the challenges are. So the events are, and I'm going to read this off the screen. So it is challenge 1 is a 500-piece Ravensburger puzzle, a color gradient, and unreleased. Challenge 2 is a 500-piece Ravensburger puzzle. The design will be repetition-based and an unreleased design. And challenge 3, a 500-piece Ravensburger, see a theme, a detailed image, and also unreleased. On day 2, it'll be challenge number 4, which is a 500-piece mystery puzzle. It's an unreleased image and an unknown brand. And then challenges 5 and 6 have yet to be announced. I'll go through each of those challenges in a minute in a little bit more detail, but it is worth noting that every round is a maximum of 75 minutes, and there's 3 challenges per day. The 75-minute time limit is what people need to be focusing on from the start, especially if you're considering attending the World Series. There's also, in fact, a statement on the website that reads, "When purchasing your ticket, please consider the time allocation of 75 minutes to complete each puzzle in each challenge." I think this is, again, very important to include on the website, and it kind of implies something. So what I infer from this is that, and this is, again, just my observations, but that statement implies that you should be able to consistently finish a 500-piece puzzle under 75 minutes, preferably faster, under 75 minutes on a first attempt. Considering the 4 puzzles we know already are unreleased, I can't imagine 5 and 6 won't be unreleased images either. So if you are not consistently under 75 minutes for a first attempt 500-piece puzzle, this competition probably isn't for you. And that's okay. Not every competition is for everyone. The World Championships, they are very open to all speed puzzling abilities, and that's one of the things I do really like about the World Championships. It's a very welcoming, open for all people to kind of give it a go and say that they competed at a World Championships. This is not that. This event seems like it's going to be very much focused on the top speed puzzlers in the world. Only 340 people can compete. Thousands can compete at the World Championships. This is a strict 340, again, for the top speed puzzlers in the world, and I'm okay with that. Again, every national competition, for the most part, virtual competitions, again, for the most part, and even the World Championships is pretty much open to everyone. There are countless opportunities to participate in speed puzzling events. This one's a bit more restrictive, and that's okay to have in some cases. If your puzzle time is consistently around 90 minutes, which is the cutoff for the qualifiers at the World Championships, that's fine. This 75-minute time limit, it's a weird phrase, is the same as the semifinals and the finals at the World Championships. I don't think it's an accident this time was picked. I think it's, again, trying to emphasize what they are expecting from their participants. And yeah, it's just because you can attend doesn't always mean you should. In addition to the time limits, again, if you are not finishing puzzles in under 75 minutes, the scoring system is going to heavily impact you. Now, the first part of the scoring system is pretty much what I predicted was going to happen. It's the easiest way to do it. It's not my ideal way of scoring, but again, it's the easiest way to kind of keep track. It's the first event. Make things as easy as possible from the start. Adjust if you need to. We'll know really quick if this is a mistake or not this year, or in the first event next year. Essentially, it's just cumulative time. So if the They even provide an example on the website. In Challenge 1, if your time is 47 minutes and 54 seconds, and in Challenge 2, your time is 38 minutes and 41 seconds, your total time is 1 hour, 26 minutes and 35 more seconds. And then you will add the next 4 challenges onto that. It's a Tour de France setup, which is what I said in part 1 of this series is probably the direction they're going to go. So it's just total time over the course of 2 days, 6 challenges. Again, we'll know after the first year if this is the best way to do it. If there's someone that completely blows everybody out of the water in this, and we know at the end of, say, Challenge 4 who the winner is going to be, maybe they readjust it to more of a point-based system. But again, we won't know until the actual event takes place. I do really hope that going into Challenge 6, there's 10 to 20 people that are still in the running to keep the intensity of that up. If there, and I'm assuming there will be, but who knows, if there are camera people running around, I want it to be tough on them in the final to keep that intensity going. I don't want 3 cameras camped out at 3 tables because we know it's going to be table 1, 2, or 3 that wins the whole thing. I want them running around because it could be anybody, and what time people need to be figuring out what time they need to make sure they win or how much time they need to make up going into the finals. And it increases that pressure on the competitors. It's not necessarily going to be about finishing first. It's about not finishing this far behind or not letting someone behind you catch up. There can be a lot of good factors into this. Again, only if there isn't a huge gap going into the Challenge 5 or into Challenge 6. So again, we'll see how it works. Now, with a scoring system based on time, I was wondering how if you don't finish in 75 minutes, what the extra pieces mean. Because unlike national competitions or the World Championships, where they just count the number of pieces left over, and that is your score. If you have 100 pieces left over and someone else has 110, you beat them. That doesn't work with a time-based system. But again, this time and effort has clearly gone into planning for as many eventualities as you can, and I'm very impressed with the website so far and outlining how every single thing is going to work. So they do address this in the rules. I just want to say other organizations maybe take note of making sure things are clear from the start. The website also includes a caveat that rules can change up until tickets go on sale. So you know what? That's okay too. There's going to be some feedback that probably comes through. They may rethink a design. Things can come up. But the fact that it says rules can change up to when the tickets are sold, that implies rules will not change after tickets are sold. Rules will not change after tickets are sold. Just want to repeat it just in case someone or people may be watching. Rules don't change after tickets are sold. That being said, if rules do change for this event after tickets are sold, that will be an interesting update video. Anyways, for every piece that is not assembled, you will be penalized 5 seconds per piece that is still remaining, and that will be added to your time. So if you complete no puzzle pieces at all, you will still be charged a 75-minute time limit, good, and an additional 41 minutes and 40 seconds, 5 seconds for each of the 500 pieces. Again, this is clear, it's straightforward, there's no ambiguity, there's no room for misinterpretation. The rules are clear, examples are given. Love it. Overall, very impressed so far with the overall design, the rules that have been put in place. There's more, which I'll get to in a future video probably, but these are the big important things for now. But let's circle back to the challenges and discuss those. The first day of challenges, so the first 3 challenges that take place on day 1, are all 500-piece Ravensburger puzzles, and not thrilled with it. Not unexpected, just not thrilled. Now, this is a huge benefit when it comes to practicing and training for the World Series. The people that will be going and participating in this will have an extensive Ravensburger collection to pull from and practice from and try different designs. The one good thing is that none of those practice puzzles that we already have in our collection will be at the World Series, as it's all unreleased puzzles. That right off the beginning, that's the best part so far. The 4 challenges we know of are all unreleased images, so look, it can be done. Love it. However, this was an opportunity for other puzzle brands to be showcased. There's so many around the world that you only need 340. Overall, the entire weekend is, as I said, over 2,000 puzzles. But there was just, I think it's a little bit of a missed opportunity. A brand can include 340 puzzles in a one-off and then sell more off to the side and recoup the minimal losses from that. But based on how everything else so far has been designed, organized for this event, I wouldn't be surprised if the idea was considered, and there's probably a specific reason for the first day being all Ravensburger puzzles. Just going to pause for a second and still put out the open invitation for anyone that's involved with the organization of this event. You are more than welcome to make an appearance on this channel, and we can talk about the World Series and why this event's taking place, and any other aspects that may be interesting to people. So the invitation is still out there. Melissa or anyone else that's involved in the organization, more than welcome. All right, back to challenge 1. Challenge 1 is a gradient Ravensburger puzzle. The description given on the website is a puzzle image contains a smooth, gradual transition between shades and colors. Now, I do love a gradient puzzle. I wonder how much of a gradient we are talking about. Hopefully this eliminates puzzles like from the World Championships, the Paris semifinal round. Well, technically it might fall under a gradient classification. The background on that was not gradual, and that's clearly in the description where it says a gradual transition between shades and colors. So what we don't know, is this going to be just a full rainbow puzzle, or is it going to be just a small little bit of a gradient somewhere in the puzzle? I'm going to read the description one more time, because based on everything else on the website so far and how particular each section seems to be, I'm making an assumption here that these words were chosen specifically. So again, it says, the puzzle image contains a smooth, gradual transition. It doesn't say the entire image is a gradient or a gradual transition. So how much will count as a gradient? If we're looking at Ravensburger puzzle specifically, we have Air Balloon Valley, Excalibur Forest, which both have rainbow gradients in them. They're very minimal, but is that what's going to count as a gradient? Or is it going to be much larger? I can't imagine it's going to be an entire rainbow gradient puzzle, which are very popular, but that just doesn't seem like it's Ravensburger's plan. If they wanted to make a rainbow entire puzzle, gradient puzzle, they would have done it by now. They've been in business for 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. They would have made one at some point. So there's going to be some sort of twist to this puzzle. I don't think people should be sitting down thinking it's going to be an entire rainbow gradient. There's going to be something else in that image for sure. It could also be multiple gradients in multiple areas. This example here, this Hollier puzzle that was used at a Canadian virtual competition, is made up of multiple gradients repeated throughout. This definitely increases the difficulty overall. It is gradient themed. I can see something maybe more like that showing up, but again, this one's so hard to predict on what it really means by gradient. Whatever it may be, I just really hope that the image is as clear as possible. There is nothing worse than a blurry gradient or a low quality image of a gradient where everything's just muddled together. But again, I do love a gradient, and hopefully this round's puzzle looks amazing. Challenge 2 is a repetition puzzle, and the description on the website reads, a puzzle image contains colors, patterns, textures, or details which appear repeatedly. Similar to challenge 1, how much of the puzzle is repeated? For instance, recently I did Ravensburger challenge puzzle King of Fright, which is this puzzle here. It is all repeated images. There's 5 or 6 different faces that are repeated throughout the entire puzzle. Something like this, though, in a World Series would be an insane choice to see. We also have the Peacock puzzle from the Colorful Creatures series. The feathers are repeated throughout. Again, that's such a hard puzzle, but it falls under the definition of repetition. So how much is going to be repeated? This one, I can't really think of any quick examples off my head that Ravensburger already has in their inventory that would be realistic for a speed puzzle competition where everyone is hopefully finishing under 75 minutes. Perhaps it's something like Rabbit Recital, where there's a lot of similar flowers that are repeated throughout. Of course, it's going to be flowers. It's going to be a flower puzzle, isn't it? It's just repeated flowers. The gradient I loved, and now that I'm thinking about what can repeat easily, it's going to be a flower puzzle. Whatever it may be, hopefully not flowers, this one is going to test people's ability to be able to sort and sticking to your sort. If repetition puzzles can be tough. So this will be an interesting round. Gradients, people can fly through a gradient. If you can notice that transition from color to color, you can get through that fast. Repetition puzzle, that is the complete opposite, really, of a gradient or a highly detailed puzzle where things only appear once. This could be a tough round. And we end day 1 with challenge 3, which is a detailed image. Again, the description for this reads, the puzzle image contains many featured items and details. Honestly, this can mean anything. If we look at the North American national championships from last year, from Canada and from the US, we have things like Himalayan Harmony from the Canadian nationals. It was a Paris puzzle, but that's irrelevant. It's a very detailed image. Nothing really repeats, and there's a lot going on. From the US, you have Fuchsia Fish, that's a detailed image, or Home Sweet Home, also a detailed image, where there's a lot of things going on, very minimal repetition. Or is it just it could be something really busy. Porcelain Pups and Cubby Cats, both from the same series. That's a very detailed, busy image. Hello Vinyl from the Canadian 2024 Nationals. Very popular puzzle. Again, heavily detailed. If you're good at that busyness that goes with it, this could be great. We also have from the World Championships this year, this semifinal puzzle, the Kawaii Chaos. A lot of detail in that puzzle as well. Unlike the final puzzle up here from the World Championships, there's not actually a lot of detail in it. It's just the same kind of person over and over again. Again, this could mean anything. This one will be the hardest to predict. Practice busy puzzles. Now at the end of day 1, my prediction now is that the top puzzlers will be fairly close in times. That repetition puzzle of challenge 2 may make things a bit more interesting. But day 2 is where things will definitely get more interesting. Challenge 4 starts with a mystery puzzle and a mystery brand with a twist, and I love this round. This is what I was hoping for all 6 rounds, or at least 5 of the 6 rounds. We knew a Ravensburger puzzle was going to show up, that's fine. But the other 5 rounds, the doors were open, could do anything. Challenge 4 is where we really see interesting twists start to take place. The description for this round reads, puzzle pieces will be provided, just puzzle pieces, will be provided in a sealed bag without the box. Love it. The puzzle box will be given to competitors after the challenge concludes. So if I'm correct in interpreting this, you have to build the puzzle without the image in front of you. This is great. This is also an easy thing to practice over the next 4 months as people prepare for the World Series. Just have people give you puzzles, especially if you've never done them. Have them give puzzles to you in a sealed bag, no image. It's all right. Well, that's going to be a speed puzzling 101 lesson. Yep, great, thanks. I just love how with the twist in this, attention to detail is going to be so important, and approaches are going to vary. Do you still go with the border even though you don't have an image to really base the border off of? It's shocking how, even for those of us, myself included, that may not consult the box image a ton, with the border, you glance more than you think you do. Not having an image to go off of, that can be tough. Imagine doing, there's a peacock puzzle, but imagine doing the koala puzzle from Ravensburger. That's such a tough border to do without having a little bit of guidance from the box. Do you build the border first? Who knows? Koala's in a tree, that's what it is. Or do you just look for similar colors that are in the image that you don't know exists? There's so many ways to approach this. What we might see here is some top puzzlers that we all are familiar with drop a little bit in their speed. Well, everyone's speed is going to drop. That's going to be a given. But the keyword being might. The fastest people are still going to be probably the fastest people, but this is where we find out how much people do rely on the image. I've puzzled with people, I've spoken with people that do a lot of puzzles that are very confident when they say, I don't use the box image. Well, now we'll find out if you really actually do, just not to the extent you think you do. What's also really good about this is we don't know the brand. I really hope the brand doesn't just turn out to be Ravensburger and they're just trying to make it seem like this is going to be something new and different. If it turns out to be a Ravensburger and they're doing this to avoid people trying to practice the piece cuts, the puzzle cut, then that's not great. But this could be any brand. It could be something more well known. It could be Treffle, which takes place in Europe quite a bit. Eurographics puzzles, hopefully not a Eurographics puzzle, only because their 500s are large pieces. I don't want to see a large piece scenario show up. Smaller pieces would be nice, but without knowing the brand, that's also going to put another twist on this round. Now, Challenge 5 and 6 have not been announced yet. I really hope they build on the twists from Challenge 4, and they just don't revert back to a 500-piece Ravensburger puzzle that's a circle or whatever. It's and maybe some of my predictions that didn't happen from Part 1 do show up. Of my predictions from Part 1, again, go watch it, there are some that I'm confident will definitely not be taking place based on what we already know. So the first one is, now that we know it's a 75-minute time limit for every challenge, for 5 and 6, the 1,000-piece puzzle option is out. Even for the best puzzlers in the world, you are going to have a significant number of people that do not finish a 1,000-piece puzzle in under an hour and 15 minutes. That's a crazy time to have for a 1,000-piece puzzle. It could still happen, but with the next event taking place, I think within an hour for most of them, or less. Counting all those remaining pieces is just going to take way too much time. And so yeah, I don't foresee a 1,000-piece puzzle showing up in any of the rounds. Disappointing, but I understand. I also think wooden puzzles, 3D puzzles, and micro puzzles are all out of this competition as well. They were all unlikely to show up, but again, with a 75-minute time limit, the way the first 4 challenges are outlined, I don't see a jump to a different type of puzzle. My hope for the 100-piece puzzles, trying to finish as many as you can within a time limit, that's also gone. That's not going to work with this scoring system, so that's disappointing, but that was really one that definitely was never going to happen. But yeah, it could be fun to see in a different type of puzzle environment. We could still see 2 500-piece puzzles in the same round. With the phrasing all on the website, though, all being in a singular form, always referring to a puzzle in a singular form, I think it's unlikely. 2 500-piece puzzles is also not the same as one 1,000-piece puzzle. You can, and we will see it, there will be people that finish a 500-piece puzzle in 30 minutes, 35 minutes, which is still plenty of time to do a second puzzle in 40 minutes. So, but one 1,000-piece puzzle, just, it's time to complete puzzles is exponential based on how many pieces there are. If it takes you 5 minutes to do a 100-piece puzzle, it's unlikely for most of us that it's going to take 25 minutes for a 500-piece. It's going to be closer to 45 or 50, and then we're going to jump into 1 to 2 to 3 hours for 1,000. So yeah, it's not going to happen. But we can still see 2 500-piece puzzles. That would be a nice little twist. We could still see a unique feature puzzle. For instance, something without a border at all. Again, unlikely, but it is a good twist. And we could also see a similar pick-your-own puzzle type of scenario that we saw at the World Championships this year. But based on people's reactions to that, I doubt it. So what else could there be for the last 2 challenges? Honestly, I'm not sure, and I love it. I do think we see at least one other brand make an appearance, so a third potential brand. I do think the final puzzle for whatever Challenge 6 is will be a Ravensburger to kind of just bookend the entire competition. Ravensburger we are comfortable with. Globally, we're more comfortable with it. Again, I've mentioned Truffle before. I can see Truffle also being the last puzzle. That's much more focused towards Europeans, though. So there's a big benefit. The European Championships last year were sponsored by Truffle and Ravensburger. I can see that being similar for this competition as well. If they're going to go in on the Ravensburger, the last round is probably going to be Ravensburger. Okay. Now that a lot more of information has been released for this event, the level of excitement will go up with that. So it's going to be interesting over the next few months to see what the last few developments are, and starting to see which of the top speed puzzlers are going to be more open about if they're attending this or not. I'm not seeing anyone publicly state that they are 100% going, at least not from any of the top speed puzzlers. And I think there's going to be some hesitancy until those tickets go on sale. But what I do like about this is it's going to be the same 340 people going after each other, competing with each other, round after round after round after round after round after round. And it's going to be a battle, a fast speed puzzling battle, a Blitzkrieg, so to speak. This will also be exciting for a spectator's point of view. Trying to figure out how much your favorite puzzler needs to catch up by or hold off the person behind them so they don't get caught. There's going to be a lot of people using time calculators for sure when it comes to this. So it's going to be something fun and interesting to witness. What will be tough, though, especially if you go into the last round and things are really close, is how they're going to communicate the standings. I'm going to assume there's going to be a live stream. it's such a big event, and the inaugural event, I'm assuming, again, there's a lot of assumptions being made, that there's going to be a live stream. It's also being run by someone from Australia, and they do very well with their live streams, so I can see the crossover with that. How the live streams will run, though, because unlike every other competition, whoever finishes first finishes first. But in that last round, to claim the winner, if puzzler A finishes at 35 minutes and 20 seconds, and then puzzler B finishes at 36 minutes and 5 seconds, whatever, we don't know who actually is first, because was puzzler A already in it ahead, or were they behind puzzler B and they finished fast enough to catch up? There's so many things that are going to take place where I'd be practicing now for different scenarios for whoever's going to be the announcer for this, or the host of the live streams. It will be tough to keep that energy going and to really make it clear who wins. Now that we are just 4 months away, or just a little bit over 4 months away from this taking place, I need to decide if I'm going to consider participating in this. I am not in the top speed puzzlers in the world, that's for sure. I think I can complete puzzles in under 75 minutes very consistently, but it would just be so much easier. Maybe I'll just look for a job in Europe. Then it's much easier. Or Canada needs to host one of these. That would be easy too. That is it for this video. Let me know in the comments what your predictions are for the final 2 events for the World Series. And that is it for this video. Let me know in the comments what your predictions are for the final 2 events for the World Series, or just your thoughts in this event overall. Are any challenges sticking out to you that you'd like to see or you'd like to participate in, that you're excited for? Just anything. This is such a new event. There's so much more that's going to come out over the next 4 months. Really excited. So let me know what your thoughts are. We are close to the end of 2025, and as a reminder, in 2026, on this channel, I will be featuring some international speed puzzlers where I'll be sitting down and chatting with them, and it's going to be interesting to see what their thoughts are on the World Series. So make sure you click subscribe so you don't miss out on any of those really interesting, fun videos coming up, along with everything else that's on this channel and all the other new things that are in development for 2026. And as always for this World Series, I really hope it comes together well and it's a huge success. I can't wait, even if I don't participate, just to watch and see how this unfolds. I mentioned this in part 1. This particular event, this World Series, is a potential positive catalyst for everything else that happens in speed puzzling moving forward. How different competitions are held, how it may affect the World Championships, which we have no information update on. That's for a different video, but we're at the time this is posted, it's just over a week away from when we usually can register, and there has been nothing. So I wonder if this World Series is already having an impact on the World Championships. But also continued best of luck to Melissa Townsend and anyone else that's helping to organize this event. From what we've all seen so far, it seems to be really well organized and thought out, and we can't always say that, can we? But again, invitation open. Melissa, anyone else from it, feel free to continue to do what you're doing, but reach out, let's have a chat. Remember to click like if you enjoyed the video, click subscribe if you want to see more, leave a comment with whatever you want in there. Follow along to see the discussions I have with other Canadian speed puzzlers and international speed puzzlers coming up in 2026. There's so much more, as I said, that's going to be coming up in the next 12 months. And as always, you can follow me on Instagram at Canadian Puzzle. And yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much. A little bit more left to come from 2025, but happy holidays if you are celebrating. Merry Christmas to those celebrating that. And that's it. Thank you for watching. And as always, happy puzzling. Bye.